Good morning. I need to know how to hashtag my videos better. And I need to make them more enticing so someone will stop by. Especially if I just put on there the scripture that I read and then you don't know anything about it. Why would you want to? So I need to do a lot of things better. But in the meantime, I'm not really going to worry about it. Okay, so it's Sunday. It is March 30th. Because yesterday was the 29th. I guess that doesn't always mean that that's true because I tend to lose track of time. Lose touch. Okay. This book, I've got a book in front of me that my grandmother Smith, my dad's mom, gave me years ago. She gave it to me. And I can't believe just part of what I've just read. I can't believe I ever did read it. I mean, I know I didn't read it, but I don't think I ever read any of it. But yet I've referred to it so many times, so I had to have. This book is called Added Upon. And I talk about that quite a bit. I mean, we're being added upon. Because we had an existence before this one. But this, I mean, if you guys have been following me, then you know this book has been bitten by a cat or a dog. Right up there, there's some bite marks. But anyway, I was looking in this book, and it was saying, I mean, it's going to be hard to read, and I need to go get it rebound, I think. It's an old book. Anyway, my grandma gave it to me. And then I gave it to my granddaughter. So how many is that? Grandmother to the son, to the daughter, to the daughter, to the daughter. So, it's either 4 or 5. I am. I laugh at myself. I'm a mess. Okay. Copyright of this book is 1898 by Nephi Anderson. Then there's a copyright 1912 and a copyright 1939. All rights reserved. 22nd printing was in 1963. And I don't think they print it anymore. I don't think you can get this book anymore unless you find one that someone else has. Notice I said the word I don't think. I do have a laughing disorder. I laugh at myself all the time. And I mean, it bugged me. My dad did that. And it did start to bother me. He would talk, and it could be something sad or gross or rude or anything, and he still's laughing after he said it. And I'm going, man, you can't be doing that. You know? So, that says preface to the 3rd edition. I think what I just read a little bit ago, it's going to be too hard to read, and I've already said that. But according to what I read just a little bit ago, I forget what it was I was going to say. They were saying that such a topic and such a book deserved more of something. Just to be embellished more. Because, okay, all I knew, so I had to have read some of it. It it talks about the pre-existence and people who knew each other there, and then they come down here, and what happens to them here. And I'm not sure if it follows them on through the existences, but our church definitely is all about the pre-existence and this existence. There's going to be a millennial existence, and there's going to be graduating to what you earned in your life. And then you could say your lives, because basically that's 3 different lives. You were born, I believe you were born just like we're born here, but I don't know about that. I'm not really liking that idea of giving birth over and over and over again, millions and millions of times, unless it can be like a joyful experience, not a painful one. That's what I'm trying to say, meaning having babies. Anyway, I was so surprised. I don't know if Carly's been listening to any of my videos, but I don't know if I even mentioned it in my video, but I have been thinking it anyway, that I would love to have this book back. Because I never gave it justice. I never really read the whole thing, and my grandma gave it to me, and me being a grandma gave it to my granddaughter. And I'm not sure that she ever read this book, but it's a trippy book, and she's a reader. I've never been a reader. I've always had a hard time. You know, there's quite a bit that goes into reading. You look at it before it goes through the brain and comes back out, you know, when you're trying to read. What does it mean? Do you know the words that you're reading? Do you know what they mean? It makes a big difference in if you can understand what you're reading. It's like these scriptures. Some of it I'm just not doing that well with. Especially, and this is just only 100 years ago. So you take those scriptures 2,000 years ago, 2,600 years ago, 5,000 years ago. Now, I know there are those of you who believe we came from apes, that we evolved. The human being came from God, and it's in his image and his smarts and all kinds of stuff, but we have to grow, we have to learn. But we didn't come from apes. Apes begat apes. Just like everything on this earth that recreates itself. God created it all. Jesus. I don't know all of that, but I've sure read a heck of a lot. I got skin that wants to come off of my lips. Drives me a little bit zonkered. Okay, so I thought to myself, it'd be really neat. I got that last night. It showed up. Carly had gone through some stuff and left some stuff on the porch, I guess. And I was real excited to get it. But now I don't know if I can read it. These people. I mean, I just tried to read some of this stuff on the front. This is too much for my little brain. But I can tell you what this book is. I mean, I got a story in my head about it, so I don't understand why I do if I didn't read it. But it's pretty cool. So that's the way I understand it. It follows some people from the pre-existence to being born here and this existence. And then I'm not sure what happens after that. And it's a small book. I think it's just a little over 200 pages. I took the cover off because it's a mess. I guess if I was going to try to sell a book that was old and worth a lot, maybe you'd want the cover on it, But I found that everything on this cover is in the book. And this book cost $1.95. I wonder what year. This is inside the book, but I'll just read it now, okay? Added Upon by Nephi Anderson. A religion, to be worthwhile, must give satisfactory answers to the great questions of life. What am I? Whence came I? What is the object of this life? What is my destiny? True, true, we walk by faith and not by sight, but yet the eye of faith must have some light by which to see. Added Upon is an effort to give in brief an outline of the scheme of things, the ways of God to men, as taught by the gospel of Christ, and and believed in by the Latter-day Saints, and to justify and praise these ways by a glance along the great plan from a point in the distant past to a point in the future, not so far away. It is to be hoped. This is Bookcraft, Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, that's about this book. And I guess here's another book. I didn't see that. It says another book by the same author, The Castle Builder. Make sure I got this where I can see all the words here. This book was first printed as a serial in the Improvement era and later as a book. Okay, a serial, like as in it follows. Describes scenes, explains life in Norway. This is a different book. It's called The Castle Builder. While it portrays a convert's early hardships, moral battles, and sacrifices, it also tells how his heart is thrilled with new and consoling religious doctrine and fascinated with the suggestions of coming to Zion. The whole book is interwoven with the old yet new story of life, the love of faithful hearts. The reader will find delight in the true-to-life introduction which this book gives to the lives of two typical Mormon converts. But yeah, the case is messed up. I don't know what I just saw on there, and I can't go searching after it. Yeah, when I'm taking a video for you guys, I looked away because I was reading something else. There was something that showed up on the top of my screen, but I don't know what it was. In other words, when somebody, well, it's a lot of things that happen that makes that happen, but also sometimes people make a comment on something and it'll show up there, but I missed it. Anyway, Added Upon by Nephi Anderson. So, it's just showing, the first copyright in this book is showing 1898. And then there's another one in 1912 and another one in 1939 with the 22nd printing, 1963. So in the front of this book, it says Preface to the Third Edition. Okay, but I think it said something about a 5th edition too. So anyway, that's what I was reading. Yeah, this is the 5th. It says preface to the 5th and enlarged edition. This story of things past, things present, and things to come has been before the Latter-day Saints for 14 years. During this time, it seems to have won for itself a place in the hearts and in their literature. A reviewer of the book, when it was first published, said that so great and grand a subject merits a more elaborate treatment. Many, many since then have said the story should be added upon, and the present enlarged edition is an attempt to meet in a small way these demands. The truths restored to the earth through Mormonism are capable of illimitable enlargement. And when we contemplate these glorious teachings, we are led to exclaim with the poet. Now here's something from a poet. Wide and more wide the kindling bosom swells, as love inspires and truth its wonders tells. The soul enraptured tunes the sacred lyre and bids a worm of earth to heaven aspire, mid solar systems numberless to soar, the depth of love and science to explore. That's kind of weird. Okay, so anyway, I don't know what that's all about there. It's Proverbs 8:22 through 30. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. I'm going to be pulling my lips off my face. Can't be doing that. Added upon. Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Question mark. When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. That's in Job 38:4 and then 7. The host of heaven, sons and daughters of God, were assembled. The many voices mingling rose and fell in one great murmur, like the rising and falling of waves about to sink to rest. Then all tumult ceased, and a perfect silence reigned. Listen, said one to another by his side. Father's will is heard. A voice thrilled the multitude. It was clear as a crystal bell, and so distinct that every ear heard, so sweet and so full of music that every heart within its range beat with delight. And now, children of God, were the words, ye have arrived at a point in this stage of your development where a change must needs take place. Living as ye have all this time in the presence of God and under the control of the agencies which here exist, ye have grown from children in knowledge and your present condition. God is pleased with you, the most of you, and many of you have shown yourselves to be spirits of power, whom he will make his future rulers. Ye have been taught many of the laws of light and life, whereby the universe is created and controlled. True, ye have not all advanced alike, or along the same lines. Some have delighted more in the harmonies of music, while others have studied the beauties of God's surrounding works. Each each have found pleasure and profit in something. But there is one line of knowledge that is closed to you all. In your present spiritual state, ye have not come in contact with the Okay, well, I'm going to stop. I just got interrupted and I'm not sure, but I think I got to go. You guys, that's what's coming up. Okay? Have a great Sunday. I'll be back. Bye.